Hi there, guys and girls. I just thought I'd do another video to talk about the recent announcement that came out of Evo, and that was they have revealed from the Mortal Kombat Legacy collection the first of the four question marks that were like unknowns, right? So you guys might remember in old videos, in podcasts, I've been saying that I believe the four question marks will be Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Mortal Kombat Gold, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, and Special Forces. Now, the first three, Trilogy, Gold, Mythologies, I'm very, very confident on. Special Forces, I'm not. But I'll get to why I think that that's going to be. So, you guys remember that they dropped this trailer at the PlayStation event, right? Now, it was funny because other than the game coming out on PS5, there was no in the legacy games. There was like Sega games and Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Game Boy. There was no mention of Sony, and I'm like, I bet it's coming, and that's what I've been saying, and that's why I was sure that Trilogy would be there, and I knew it would be either the PC or the PS or the PlayStation version because they are the superior versions. The Nintendo 64 was cut back a bit because of the 64 megabyte constraint, excuse me. Whereas PC and PlayStation had a full disc. Excuse me again. So I was confident that we were going to get Trilogy because we're getting, Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. What's next? Trilogy. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I was very confident in that, and we got it. And I'm glad. Even though I've gone on record many times saying I don't like Trilogy, I think it's broken, it's a broken mess, that doesn't mean I don't want it to be in the Legacy Collection. That's stupid. The Legacy Collection is about two things. The word Legacy. It's about, yeah, sure, it's a collection of Legacy games like Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also about keeping the legacy of Mortal Kombat going. And that's what they've been saying on the panels and stuff that came out of Evo. So I've always been like, it's really important that we keep the Mortal Kombat Legacy going. Even if it's a game I don't like, it doesn't mean most people like Trilogy, right? So even though I don't like it, I never said I don't want that to be part of the collection. I never said that, right? There's even Special Forces. I think it should be in there. Is it a bad game? Yes. Doesn't mean it doesn't have to be in there though. I mean, it's part of the history of Mortal Kombat, and that's what Digital Eclipse they've been saying out there, that they're all about conservation of video games, which I'm such a strong, advocate for myself. And, the fact that I have one of the biggest Mortal Kombat archives, with content and documents and graphics and videos and renders and artwork, going back to MK4 basically, that's something that I've always been keen on doing preservation, and it's something that I actively do all the time. So even like every couple of weeks, I'll do another search through like, archive.org or like websites or a Google search and just look for like high resolution, game disc assets, that might have been uploaded like in the last couple of weeks, and that's what I do. And I look through things, and, sometimes I do like a big long session and go through things. And because a lot of this stuff was sitting on archive.org, people were uploading a lot of the Game Pro archives, artwork archives. So for those of you who don't know, okay, so basically let me explain. Back in the day, before the internet, the only way that you could get high resolution assets from Midway Games to like Game Pro or whatever magazine, right, was you sent a CD. So they would send a CD over, and the CD would be loaded with like high quality logos. Sorry, something just popped up. Get rid of that. High quality logos, high quality artwork, and you'd think this, right? But it was a long time ago. It wouldn't be high quality. It'd be, it was in the 90s. It'd be low quality. No, this stuff was actually drawn and scanned in like at a really high quality. Unfortunately, for someone like me who would go on the websites and save all these images and never got those CDs because I'm not a magazine, right? The logo would be like super compressed down and super sized down, low resolution, and compressed. So the colors were shit. Compression back in the 90s was garbage, right? Compression was crap. Things were low res, and it ruined shit. So it became different when, the internet picked up, and high-speed internet, around the time of, Deadly Alliance, 2002, the internet started getting good. We started getting cable internet, and, another thing popping up. Fucking stupid thing. And then, so for basically since about Deadly Alliance, from then on, I was getting everything in high quality and saving it. And I stopped compressing everything because then hard drives were also getting bigger, right? So it was also about hard drive space. The thing is, the original Total Mortal Kombat website was just hosted on my internet plan, and I literally had 20 megabytes of space. That was it. So I had to compress every image. So I compressed the shit out of every image, something that I regret now. Because, there's a lot of old images on there that are long gone. Like a picture of the Mortal Kombat Special Forces strategy guide that never ever came out. I've got the tiny little JPEG of that. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean. So hard drive space got big in the 2000s. The internet got faster. The website started having higher quality images on the website because they could start hosting it. So, and people could download it, save it. And that's when, I learned about press and press assets and all that stuff. And since then, I've been conserving and storing everything, and that's why I've been going back and finding the old stuff before Deadly Alliance is really good because, I'll give you an example. For the longest time, I had, from MortalKombat4.com, they had a column on the side. For those who are old school and remember MortalKombat4.com, it had all the select screen pictures in a vertical column on the left, and you clicked on each one like Scorpion, and then it would bring up the Scorpion stuff and down there. And anyway, I saved that onto a floppy disk, which I still have, a fucking floppy disk, right? Now, a lot of people who didn't save that wondered where I got those images so high quality, because they were really high quality. And even I always wondered where the hell it came from. I thought it must have been like a Midway thing, and it sort of was. It turns out, years later, I got the original image that those mugshots came from, the high quality, high resolution. It's a TIFF image, and there's no compression. It's all lossless and beautiful, and the colors are like perfect. That's where it came from. So the person that made that MK4.com just rearranged that image of the select screen into a column of all the faces. I think it was called mkfaces.jpg or .bmp or something, yeah. So, I had that image for ages, and whenever I showed it to people, they're like, where did you get that so high resolution? Because it was like 4 times the size of, like, other things. Anyway, so I'm off track, but, conservation is big for me when it comes to Mortal Kombat. I don't just play the games and talk about them, I try and save all this stuff, and, Tablock knows I'm into this stuff too, and I do my best to, like, find new things, and he finds things, and we have a pretty good network of people who look for assets, and people have found things, like I said, on archive.org, archives for Ultimate Mortal Kombat that were sent to a magazine, and MK Trilogy, and MK4, and, it's great to have this stuff. So, the Legacy Collection gets Trilogy. It gets the PlayStation version, which is awesome. And it is confirmed that's the PlayStation version, confirmed by Dan Amarick, who was on the panel at EVO and confirmed it was the PlayStation version. Now, going back to what I was saying, this game was announced at the Sony, whatever the Sony event was, right? And this is the first game that was a PlayStation Mortal Kombat. They had to build an emulator for it, right? So if they're building an emulator for one game, they're building an emulator for more than one game. I'm sure of it. Like, because they're not, technically I guess they could use it in future for something else. But my gut tells me it wasn't just for one game. And that's why I believe that the next game that we're going to get, and this is what I said on those podcasts and these original videos, was either MK Gold or MK Mythologies Sub-Zero will be the next game announced. I'm sure of it. I reckon the next one will be MK Gold, because that's a Sega game. Dreamcast emulator Dreamcast emulation, I should say, will be made for that. I don't know if they've done Dreamcast. I didn't look into that. I've got the Cowabunga collection. I don't have the Atari one. I think they did a Street Fighter collection too. They might have done Dreamcast for that. I'm not entirely sure, right? But then I'm sure that they will do Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. The reason for that is it's another PlayStation game. It was announced at the Sony event. And who do we have working on this game alongside Ed Boon and Digital Eclipse and all those guys? John Tobias, the OG. And the John Tobias Mortal Kombat Mythologies game, I don't give a shit if you don't like it. It's a fucking masterpiece of a game. And in that, by saying that, I don't mean it's like a widely regarded, everybody likes a game. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, it's a masterpiece. It's full of fucking lore. It's what pushed those stories forward for those characters. Quan Chi, Sub-Zero, the Grandmaster. We got to see a bit of Lin Kuei. We've never seen any of this shit. Do you know what I mean? And he wrote that story and that lore so well. And it's just a side-scrolling game. The only problem with that game is it's hard. Level 2 is fucking hard. Once you get past level 2, it's a bit of a breeze, really. And the other thing is it can be cheap with guys running in off the screen. Yeah, I agree about that. And the turning around button is something you have to get used to. I think that every time you fought a guy, if the screen just locked off and it just did auto-turning so you didn't have to use a button, it would be better. Then you defeat the guy, then the barriers go back up or something. I don't know. I probably would have found a different system, but I understand why they put the turning in, because you're going left and right. It's a side-scroller. Sometimes you need to face that way, sometimes you need to face that way. Sometimes you've got more than one guy on the screen. There could be one guy on your left and one guy on your right. That's why. So I get it. It's very clunky, though, and it probably wasn't the best way to do it. But that aside, the storytelling in Mythology Sub-Zero, is the best you get. To me, it's almost as good as MK9. That's no lie. You know, the fact Sub-Zero goes to the Temple of the Elements, he fights 4 gods that are put there to literally protect the amulet, to stop Quan Chi getting it. Quan Chi can't set foot in the temple until the gods are defeated inside. They'll know if he gets to... And then he sends Sub-Zero in, and as soon as they're dead, he just shows up and grabs it. Do you know what I mean? As soon as they're gone. Mine. You know, all of that mythology and story writing. Andrew Kudelka's Elements map, you know, was awesome. It just gave it that fucking feel of something old and, like, you know, secretive and mystic and, like, you know... all of that stuff is just so great. And that map, you only see it for like 2 or 3 seconds. He was shocked when I asked about it. So I asked Andrew Kudelka if he still had that map when I found out that he was the guy that made it. And he dug it up and he sent us the picture of it. And it's been such a cool thing to have that map, to have that piece of mythology that we only saw a glimpse of. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, that's why I love mythology. It's all about the story in that, and it would be a crime to not have that as one of the 4 unlockable games. And if Mortal Kombat Trilogy's in there, I'm telling you, Mythology Sub-Zero is going to be in there. You know, I'm sure of it. Like, if it's not, I'm going to be very disappointed. Put it that way. You know, and that's where we get to like Special Forces. So part of me thinks Special Forces will also be in there because it's a PlayStation game, it's a Mythologies game, it's a legacy title, right? If they're doing all the other Sony games, they might as well just chuck Special Forces in there. But I do know Ed does not like that game. I know he sent a tweet out once, cancel the Special Forces project. I specifically remember that. Do you know what I mean? Special Forces went through development hell. It did. So the game that came out, not good, you know. I never finished it. Here I am, Total Mortal Kombat. I never finished Mythologies. Special Forces. I got to Outworld. I got to the last stage. I got to Kato. And then I'm like, nah. You know, it just didn't have the music. It didn't have Dan Forden's music. Dan Forden's music in Mythology Sub-Zero is so good. It's so atmospheric. And then when I played Special Forces, I'm like, I don't even know who just does the music for that. I don't know if it was Dan or not. I don't know. It just didn't seem... I don't know. I don't think it's Dan Forden. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I don't know. Whoever did the music, or whoever was responsible for the music for Special Forces, not your best work. Put it that way. And then the game was just shit. And yeah. So does that mean I don't think it should be in the collection? No. Like I said, it's a snapshot in time. It should be part of it. You know, if all the other shit's part of it, why not put that in there? I mean, you just fit it in at this point. You know, so So yeah, that's why I think that the 4 question marks will be Trilogy, which I was right about. MK Gold, which is like the premium version of MK4. If they're doing MK4, you might as well do MK Gold. Mythology Sub-Zero, because it's it's John Tobias's love letter to Mortal Kombat and forwarded all the mythologies of the characters. Even though people always have fun, making fun of like the cheesy death scenes and all that. And then you got Special Forces. So yeah, I just wanted to do a video about that. Trilogy confirmed. I was right. 3 more to go. 3 more to go. Hopefully we get what we want. For me, I really do want Gold and Mythology Sub-Zero. The Special Forces thing isn't a big deal for me. But like I said, if you do it the others, you might as well do that. But, I really want MK Gold and the Mythology Sub-Zero, because, they're such important games as far as I'm concerned when it came to Mortal Kombat. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys for another video really soon, because I'm about to film another one right after this one. Peace out.